and it is Fish Hawk live from the floor, and we're joined by some really great dudes here. We got Captain Pete Alex, we got Captain Shane Rubianis, Captain Casey Prisco. Guys, it's day 3 of the show. What are we thinking? How's it going so far?
My legs hurt. This floor. I feel like I'm old like Pete right now. Not Shane, but Pete. It's been a great show. It's always good to see. Good to see everybody. Some new products out there. Shane came out with a really cool diver. I think that's going to help a lot of guys with landing more fish in those divers because there's nothing friendly about dipsy divers, and I think that's going to be a major game changer. It's been a good show. I'm excited to go home. I'm leaving tonight. I've 3 days is a lot being out here. I've had some steaks. I've had some adult beverages and lots of good laughs and memories and fun times with a bunch of great people. So it's been fun.
So far, it's been a great show. It's just every year look forward to coming out and seeing these guys. I don't get to see them very often, and it's just always happy to get here. And by the time by Sunday rolls around, happy to leave.
I understand. Okay. I think it's a great show. It's been good. The weather's been very good. Every year it seems to be we've had 1 to 2 bad weather days, which I think hurt attendance a little bit. So we have 4 good days in a row of great weather at this end of the country. It's always good to see these guys, visit people like Shane. I don't get to see Shane very often, so except at the Niagara show typically. I see him a lot, unfortunately. He's one of those guys, it's good to see, and it's good to see go.
Small dose.
Like, good to see, and then good to see go. Go back to Mexico Bay. I get a big dose. I wish it was a small dose, but I get a big dose. But I get to see you annually. We get to do this podcast. I get to see Trevor. So for a lot of reasons, and we got some new products. It's like Shane brought his new diver out. I heard about it, but he brought them, so it's good to sit there and see the diver physically. Fish USA brought a lot of great products out. Some of the customers I hadn't seen yet. I knew they were coming, so some of the stuff you were involved with.
Yeah, no, they definitely. They went above and beyond.
The show is an unveiling for some of the stuff, new products. Get to see a lot of people in the industry, and of course, education. Did I list anything bad? It's all good.
Yeah, all good there. I think it was all good, and I kind of agree with you guys. And this is something that, we look forward to coming to the show every year just to see everybody and walk up and down the halls now, and like everybody wants to say hi, and it's a lot of fun. I always tell people it's like going to family reunion. When you're here, there's some people you don't want to talk to at the family reunion, but for the most part, you're excited to see everybody. Each part of the family's kind of got their own little shirt on that they're wearing, but in the end, we're all one big family.
We call it colors.
Yeah.
You got colors.
Right. It's a good time. Casey, you look like you got something to say over there.
Yeah,
you look like you're ready to talk.
Pete kind of hurt my feelings a little bit there. Small dosage of me, but I know come May, every day he's going to want to know what's going on in the afternoon, and I'm going to push him. He said small dosage, and I got a great question. So.
Aren't you guys like roommates?
Yeah, well, right down the road. That's about as close. Dock mates.
Dock mates.
Pete got kicked out of his normal dock and had to come over to me because he's uncourteous to others at the dock, like he is on this podcast. But moving forward, talking about dosage, didn't you fish with Pete one time on Michigan?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen all these old pictures on Pete's Facebook page. Vision Quest Sport Fishing, guys. He needs likes and followers. Click on the page. But he also has a YouTube channel. But let me hear about your experience with fishing with the great one, Pete Alex, on Lake Michigan. How it was getting him off of his boat, coming on your boat. Was he pushy? Was he like, hey, we got to put this down? How was it? Let me give you the mic.
Well,
Treat me good.
No holds barred. Give it to him.
we only had one slight problem, and that was when he whipped out the Pro Troll. But other than that, it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was real enjoyable. I've known Pete for a long time, and it's always a joy to fish with Pete. I think we fished together a couple times now. Yep. But yeah, it's always nice to fish with other captains because you always learn from each other and figure out something that they're doing that, and it might not even be something major or whatever, just little tiny things that you see and pick up on, and it's always fun to fish with others. So
I'll just piggyback that a little bit. So, I did bring an unidentified flasher on the boat, but in my defense, it did catch what, Shane?
it caught the biggest fish that day.
It did, and but when Shane said go ahead and bring some of your hot rigs, he didn't say what not to bring or any certain manufacturer. So in my defense, I just grabbed a handful of rigs, and Shane was courteous enough to let me put a couple things out on that side of the boat, and so that's how that happened. I guess luck of the draw, maybe.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
But we fished in 2008. We did the St. Joe's Pro-Am. I think that was the furthest one back, and we finished second in the Pro-Am, and I think won the 333, correct?
I think so.
So we
Nice.
had two good trips out there. I got to see some of the guys in Michigan along the dock, do the dock talk and visit. So
Little different fishery. How is it out there, Pete?
a little different.
How so?
I can't.
No, it's okay. We're here. It's okay. Let's
They
hear about
do
it.
things a little different in Michigan than us in New York, so we'll just leave it at that. But it's all good. There's more ways to skin a cat. But, it was a great trip to go out west, meet some of the guys that you heard about or maybe read about even, shake hands, hug. And, I got a big hug from Fuzzy Bear in 2008. Like, there was a big warm greeting from that guy. He never met me, but I got the bear hug from the Fuzz. So, had a great trip.
Everybody wants to hug Pete.
It's a good trip. So, and then Shane was courteous. We broke bread at the Rubianis household, which is a well-kept machine. That household, very neat. We saw pigs. Did you know he had pigs? Pigs and tractors.
Yep.
So
And
there's a couple
I
things
knew about the tractors.
Couple things I didn't know about the Rubianis family and that I got to find out aside from fishing in Dreamweaver. So it was a great trip. Two great trips in Michigan.
So we got a couple comments coming through. Captain Chris Engel says, "Don't be coming over here skinning my cat." So there you go.
Sounds like an invite, Pete. Is that your boy? Maybe.
So we got another guy wanting to know, and I told you a little while ago, the thing that I keep hearing about in this show is that diver, and we talked about it a little bit, but somebody wants to know, when are those new divers going to be available?
We're hoping probably in the next. I'm hoping that maybe by the Grand Rapids show, but I don't know. We're going to be waiting on some packaging and stuff, but they're just finishing up the last injection mold right now. So that should be done in the next week or two, and then we'll start assembling them and stuff, and we'll have them out for sure in the next month or so, but with a little luck we might have them in Grand Rapids.
Very cool. Tell people that maybe they don't know about it. Tell me about this diver. What's it all about? Why? What makes it special?
It's just a I don't know. I myself got tired of hand lining fish that last few feet to the net, and wanted to come up with a simpler way, a better way to do it. And we've been working on it for a while. And I did bring it so I can show you. But Casey will hold the mic.
I was going to interject just to straighten this out. When Shane said, hand lining the last few feet, he meant like 50 feet, a hand lining, not a few feet. Just to clarify, Shane, it was like 50 feet.
Yeah, it just got tired of doing the three-man hustle back there. So, but anyway, it's very similar to our normal diver that we sell, but same circumference, same weight. It's just got a different release mechanism, and the line actually travels through the body, so you can adjust your leader anywhere you want, snap it down, and then all you got to do is wrap that around that hook, and you're trolling like normal, and then it trips and slides where you want, or it slides down to you'd set a bead or a swivel or whatnot. But it's been I used it last summer for about 6 weeks, and we went through several revisions and little tweaks and stuff, and pretty happy with how it turned out, and looking forward to sharing it with everyone.
Shane, is that going to be in 2 sizes and then colors, various colors as well?
Yep. It'll start. My guess is it'll initially just make it in like black and clear, and maybe white and glow, and some basic colors, and then as just like anything else, it'll probably get wildly out of control before too long, especially if Pete gets involved, because he likes to make his divers shine.
Oh yeah, everything's got to match with Pete. But I can tell you personally, and I probably can speak for all of us, I have at least a few bad memories of a fish I've lost hand lining behind the boat. And if this is going to help solve that, that's great. Those are key fish, especially not just during tournaments, during charters. Nothing looks worse. You got the fish to the boat, and you're starting to hand line it, and your mate goes to scoop it, and that fish gets off, and they're like, "Where'd it go?" I'm like, I know you fought it for 20 minutes, but that was a long distance release. We just let it, or short distance release. That one's for the next guy. It's bad. So this is exciting.
That's where it takes a special captain to lighten the mood, because things go silent real fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we've all been there for that. That's sure. But no, that's a great idea, great product right there.
Walk back, walk back, walk back. I don't have to say that anymore.
Right.
What's it going to be called, Shane?
I still don't know. So we're going to have to figure it out here real quick when we start printing some packaging, but I don't know exactly yet.
Slippery Pete. Slippery, that guy.
Maybe we'll have to work Slippery in there somewhere. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, all three of you guys love to fish. It's February right now. I don't think you guys have been out recently. Tell me what you're looking forward to most this year. Let's start with Casey. What are you looking forward to most?
Just getting back out there. When you don't do it every day or every other day, and the season's over with, and it's exciting for a little bit because you're tired, you're worn down from the year, but you don't realize how much you miss it until you're not doing it. So, and the conversations, even though Pete's on the other end of the lake where there's a lot of fish, and I'm on the east end of the lake where it's tougher fishing, but it makes you a good fisherman. He stays in like the kiddie pool. We still touch base every day, and it's still like I'm fishing side by side with him. He'll like, 5 in a box. What do you got? Just pay attention to yourself out there, Pete. But it motivates me. If he's getting him on that end, I still want to be able to say, what, like 7, Pete. So it's great. Like, yeah, we bust each other's balls back and forth, but I want to see nothing but him do great. Give him an attaboy if he does something good, or if he kills him or crushes him, sends me a flexing picture where he's got 15 kings and he's back to the dock. Awesome. Did I get 15 kings that day? No, I probably got 20, but I'm only gonna post like 5 to make him feel good. You know what I mean? He's gotten softer in his old age, kind of like Trevor, but it's all fun. Honestly, these guys are awesome. Like the guys I look up to, it's fun to fish against them, with them, and I actually got to fish with Pete twice now in a Pro-Am, and it's fun. It's you get to see a whole different Pete. He quiets up, he's focused, and he's a different animal out there, and I think that's why he's successful, because he's hungry. He's not just going out to run through the motions, he's going out to get it done, and it's fun. It's fun to see a guy that's every day in and out, as busy as he is and does what he does, still that hungry, and it's motivation. He motivates me.
Pete, what are you looking forward to? We'll come back to Shane.
Well, I guess probably 2 things. By the way, you look great in blue. Like blue hat,
Brand new shirt, yeah.
blue hat. You're color coordinated, looking good.
Thank you.
Anyway, couple things. Once we get past the show, it's refocus on the gear. So we're in the process. I'm in the process slowly, like getting my tackle in order and re-rigging and retying. That slow, sucky process really that people don't see, but takes a lot of time. But I'm looking forward to getting the boat back in the water up in Lake Ontario, really, and the Spring King of the Lake tournament, which that kicks off the Lake Ontario tournament season. So that's always a fun tournament. Get to see the Canadian guys, some New York guys come to that. So probably I look at that. Then secondly is that month of May in Wilson. You know, we got a lot. My friend from Pulaski comes down with like 16 or 17 boats, you know, so he fills the marine up, uh, brings some captains down, some good mates from Michigan, actually. And the dock's full, it's lively, everybody's amped up, it's spring, we're just starting to fish, you know, whether it's cohos, some Lakers, or kings. It's the buzz. We got a really good buzz in Wilson. Fishing's usually pretty good. Sometimes it starts tough, but we got this excitement in the air. A lot of fishing guys are down there. Some guys come from the other parts of Lake Ontario, so you get to see those guys. There's a lot of camaraderie and fun going on. And, you know, when like these guys leave, there's kind of like this big, you know, sad moment. It's quieter, but a sad moment, like the daily barbs that go on, the kidding and the reports, all that camaraderie kind of simmers down. So there's a little withdrawal period. But I'd say those two things, really, that spring first tournament that Ivan puts on, and the whole May dock thing with guys like Casey. It's really a fun moment in life.
I just look forward to, I don't know, it's always, like Casey said, it's always the end of the season, you're tired and it feels good to relax for a little bit, but then you start to miss it. And I really enjoy fishing every day if I can. I'd prefer to fish every day, but in the spring in Ludington, I don't travel anymore, so our spring kind of slow rolls. We don't really get going until, you know, I'll spend 10 days, maybe 10 days in May and the first part of June fishing, and then start going every day, like, you know, 1st of July. But just look forward to some of our best fishing is actually happening in May in Ludington. We just don't really know when it's going to happen, but we usually get a really good little section of fishing there. And more than anything, I guess I'm looking forward to getting out of my office and getting away from those spreadsheets and
So you
getting
guys,
back on the water.
as charter captains, you're fishing with some people that are just trying to like get away from it. I just want to take a day and hang out and have fun and have a good time. But a lot of times you also have people on your boat that are like, they want to learn something. They're on the boat, they're trying to get something out of that day that they can take back to their boat to be better. Shane, just in the business that you're in, I'm sure you take calls all the time from anglers trying to figure out ways to use your products better. You probably get a lot of
Absolutely.
feedback from people. Can you guys talk a little bit about what you see from an everyday angler that's kind of like, you know, this is something that a lot of guys mess up that is pretty simple that can be fixed. So can you guys offer a way to maybe somebody's got a bucket with a little hole in it in their knowledge base? Is there something that you guys can provide here today to our viewers that can help patch that bucket up so they're not, you know, so they can have as much knowledge as they can when they go on the boat? What's a common mistake that you see from the average angler? Pete, I'll let you go first and let those guys think about it for a second.
I'd say a common mistake is a lot of anglers aren't prepared. Like we talked about this, you know, like our boats as soon as that boat comes off plane, our lures are already picked. Our divers are ready to go in the water. Our rods are ready to deploy as soon as that boat settles down. So a lot of guys might be digging through lures or maybe still trying to find their dipsies. Maybe they're trying to set their dipsies. So being prepared and using every minute of that valuable time when you go to set up in the morning. 'Cause sometimes the morning bite's very critical. And probably the second thing is a lot of guys fish their leads off their riggers too long, especially in the morning. Simple thing, but a big thing.
What is the definition of too long? So where are they set theirs and where should they be setting?
I guess the definition of too long is probably past 20 feet. You know, a lot of times we're 8 to 12 or 15 feet. The main reason being those fish are hungry. It's still a little dark, a little low light conditions, so they're a little dumb and easy to catch. And if you have your baits too far back, a lot of times those fish are sucked in by the cables or the downrigger balls, and your lure's in a different zip code. They can't find the zip code. They're not going to eat your cannonball. That's the only thing they see. So those nice and tight leads catch a lot of those dumb, easy morning fish. And a lot of guys, I'll say a lot of the guys from Lake Erie go with the Lake Erie mentality. Longer is better, but not salmon fishing, and definitely not in the morning. So
Yeah, they're coming to.
they're coming to eat. So they're curious. They're a little easier and dumber to catch, low light, and they're hungry. So if they can't find something to eat because your leads are too far back, they're not going to eat, right? So that's a simple, easy one for anglers to fix.
Shane, do you have something like that?
I would agree with Pete on a lot of that stuff. Yeah, being ready and knowing what you're going to do right when you hit the water, because you're going to be, you can be fishing in 10 minutes literally. But there's a whole plethora of just little things that you could learn. One of the best things that I tell people that call all the time is like, it's not exactly what you asked here, but I always tell people like the best thing you can do and it's very well money spent is if you're new to this or want to learn more, find a guy like Casey or Pete in your harbor and take a charter. Like, you will learn more in one day than you can learn by yourself in a month, just by watching. Maybe it's very easy to understand basic concepts, but to go out and do, you just pick up on little things to make things easier. So that's what I suggest a lot when people call.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. The one thing I would say I think people don't do is research where they're fishing and starting point. I don't care how much preparation, how much time you spend, how much gear you have, what boat you have. If you're not fishing where the fish are, you're not going to catch them. And time in the water helps you with that. Following reports, there's a lot of guys that do reports now on Lake Ontario, on Lake Erie, on Michigan. There's ways to narrow down that big lake. Friends make the lake smaller, so do reports. So I would say, if you're really looking to, you don't have a ton of time to do it, you've invested in a boat and some gear, keep it simple. Follow some reports, be courteous on the water, and at the end of the day, make it fun. When you're having fun, everything jives. Good vibes, good fishing. Bad vibes, put her on the trailer, take her home. Go do your honey-to-do list, then you don't get yelled at by your wife. They'll have bad vibes at home.
All right, let's go this route. We're going to go fishing in July. You all get to fish out of your home port in July. We're going to go fishing for kings. You're the only person in your boat. So you got 3 lines. Stable, the weather's stable. How are you gonna fish those 3 lines? What are you gonna put on them? How are you gonna get them into the water that you want to get them in? Casey, we'll start with you.
Meat on all 3 lines. I'm gonna have 2 riggers. I'm gonna have 1 rigger because we're going for big fish.
We're going for big fish.
Okay, I'm having 1
big
rigger.
as salmon.
1 rigger. I'm gonna have this Dreamweaver diver out because I'm gonna have a hell of a time landing a fish on a diver that won't go down. So I'm gonna shorten up my lead to about 3 feet in front of my attractor so that I can really get close to him when I'm one hand scooping that 30-pound king, flexing and sending it to Pete. I would have probably a 500 or 600 copper, and I'm gonna go slow. Fat guys don't run. We don't run. We just big fish. You want to crawl it down, and I'd probably have a 13-inch paddle, an 8-inch paddle, and a 10-inch paddle, all meat, and that's what I'd be doing.
How are you gonna deploy that meat?
How am I deploying it?
Yeah.
Deep and slow. 42, 44 degree water. That time of year in July in Mexico Bay, I'm probably going to be 300 to 500 feet of water. I use lifelines. I'll call people I know in Sodus or in Oswego, and they'll say, hey, I'm getting them in 500 feet of water. Well, what's your line? I want to know your north line. So maybe it's 39. So I've learned is that the lake works as a highway. If they're getting them at 39 line in Oswego, I get on the 39 line in Mexico Bay and start trolling to Oswego, I'm going to find some. And I think the whole lake can work like that. If I see Pete catch him at a certain line in Wilson, and I'm not down by the bar, I'm in front of Alcott, but he's on the 27. I get out to the 27 and start going that way, chances are I'm going to find something. So, but yep, I'm going to be 300 to 500 feet of water, slow moving, with my new diver.
What's your favorite meat rig?
Got to be the bullfrog. I'm going to give it there. It is. I'll give you why the bullfrog works. So for years, it's a color water thing for me. I can look at the water and see it's going to work there. But my lead behind the bullfrog is 84 inches. It's a super, super long lead. It's going to be tough for me to land my fish by myself with that lead. I might be hand lining my leader, my Twinkie rig. But that's the key to that rig. It's a super long lead and just seems to work for me.
All right, Shane, what are your 3 lines going to be?
Well, in Ludington in July, is this a Tuesday or a Saturday?
We'll let you fit. I know you're a weekday fisherman, so we'll let you fish on a Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday I'll probably head up to the point. I would probably, I'd probably run 1 deep rigger and 2 long lines. Probably a big paddle and a fly or something real deep. And I would probably run a spoon. There'd be a couple different choices, but a spoon on depending on the water temperature, but 200 or 300 copper, and then I'd probably run a flasher and a cut bait rig on like a 350, 400, 450, depending on the water temperature.
What do you think that spoon's going to be? I want you just to visualize the day here.
Probably like some variation of a glow spoon with some green on it. Probably like a half glow spoon with some green on it. Or maybe later in the day it might be like a Rasta goose or something like that.
All right, Pete, your turn.
Well, I've had about 10 minutes to think about it, Chris. So I'm glad I'm going last. So thank you for that one. Pole position is sometimes not the best, but sometimes the guy in the rear gets to think about things a little longer and formulate his plan for the big fish here. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to mimic Casey's program a little. I'm gonna do not for he's complimentary.
Are we taking gloves off, Dad?
No, I'll say complimentary.
Okay.
I'm gonna do shoot center rigger. That's gonna be probably set around that 42 to 44 degree water. Okay. I'm gonna run a 10 spin doctor, a double crush white glow, with a Twinkie. That's my center rigger. I'm gonna run 2 wire divers, port and starboard side, and I'm gonna probably try and get them in that 50 degree water to 45 degree water, a little bit higher. With meat, all 3 rigs are gonna have meat. My 2 divers are gonna have just a clean meat head, no Twinkies, with 10 and spin doctors. I'm running an all-out big fish program. I'm going to troll relatively slow. I'm probably going to work 90 to 150, looking for big guys inside. That's where like a lot of pigs hang out. Maybe not a lot, but we're pig fishing. So, and I'm going to have to be patient. That's it.
So what I liked about all of your answers, one of the things we get from people that want to get into trout and salmon fishing that are new to the sport, they're like, I can't do it because I don't have downriggers. And all of you guys had the majority of your lines didn't deploy downriggers. I think you all had 1 out, and the rest of them were either on divers or long lines. So I think that goes to show you guys, if you want to go out and catch big fish and you only have 1 rigger or you don't have any riggers, like, you can go do it. And I think what you guys just said, and I didn't set that up, that was all what you guys just said. I think it goes to show you that you can do it with pretty simple gear right off the start. So, I mean, I don't think there's any excuses for people that maybe don't have all the stuff to get out there and get started and get fishing. So, It's all good stuff, guys. What would be your biggest piece of advice? I'm going to give this to Pete, because since he got to go last time, I'll make him go first this time. What is your biggest piece of advice to somebody that's just getting started?
Education, knowledge, attend some of the salmon schools, watch YouTube videos, pay attention to some of the most consistent fishermen in your port. Okay, know who they are, kind of understand how they think, maybe their process, but learn and always be willing to learn. Be prepared all the time, like we mentioned earlier, and I'm going to kill the fish in the entire day, and I will never let the fish defeat me attitude, ever. Have the killer attitude and maintain it. Have confidence in your program, and be willing to do whatever it takes to be a better angler day in and day out.
Shane, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, persistence, time on the water, don't give up. Yeah, because that's one thing I say about this fishing is the highs are high and the lows are very low. But I mean, it's an interesting time to learn to fish because I know I look like a really young guy. Just kidding, but but you can learn. You can literally learn so much so fast now. Where 25 years ago. Can you imagine just going out there and not having all this knowledge on the internet and all these reports and all the stuff that's available to people now, schools, and I mean, when I was growing up, these guys, it would take a guy literally 10 years to become a good fisherman. And now I've seen guys that start from scratch and are competing with some of the better fishermen in literally a year or two. And it's just amazing the amount of information and the amount you can learn if you dig and want to learn.
Casey, what's your advice?
Yeah, definitely education. Educate yourself before you're going out. There's so much, like Shane and Pete just said, the reports, the schools, the seminars, online. The more prepared you are to be out there, the better your odds are of catching. But also don't get frustrated. It's not easy. Some days you struggle. There's days I don't get them. There's days Pete don't get them. But that defines who you are, because that next day, it's going to be a bad day to be a fish. And
I was just going to say, you don't ever want to get too big ahead because it can go bad in a real hurry, and then the next day you'll go out there and you won't do anything different, and you'll be a hero.
yeah, stay humble. You know, I mean, you definitely stay humble. You want to beat your chest, beat it behind closed doors, or to your buddies like Pete. But that I know Lake Ontario, I'm sure Lake Erie, Michigan, any of those lakes, anywhere you're fishing, you can get humbled by the fish real quick. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. But time on the water, 100%. But don't be frustrated. Make it fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. And there's so many options out there to learn from. Like, prepare yourself.
You know, I'll just touch base on what you said and Shane said. Like, so way back in the day, before YouTube and Instagram and TikTok,
Morse code.
There was Morse code, yeah.
Lorancy.
Paper graphs. Like, for me,
You still have a paper graph, don't you?
I have pictures of paper graphs.
Yeah, he's got a Cytex on the dash of the 31.
For me, I was hungry to learn, right? And there wasn't just a lot out there. No social media, no texting, none of this stuff existed. So, like, I literally drove to Michigan more than once to attend fishing seminars, at the sports shows in Michigan to hear some of the well-known guys present. I was hungry, and you couldn't get it unless you had people that wanted to share, dock space or dock talk with you. But a lot of guys really weren't, because it was more secret. I think more secretive back then. So, I kind of wanted it, so I did. I literally drove to Michigan to
When Pete's
to
hungry,
these.
he'll make moves. He'll travel. When Pete's hungry, he travels.
And so, those are ways, and that's back to the education thing, right? It's a little easier today, like we all admit, but you got to want to improve. And like Casey said, I know Lake Ontario will definitely humble you. You could have 8 straight good days in a row, and your 9th day, you got everything dialed. You know what's going to go in the first hour, where you're going, and many a days you're sitting on 0 bites in the first hour or 2, and then you're scratching your head again, like, uh-oh, plan B. Why did the fish do what they did? There was no reason, no wind event. And to further, I guess, explain that point or expand is that's where, experience and knowledge and the willingness not to quit. A lot of guys, that makes or break guys. Some guys will just stay there and rot their day off and just call it a tough day. It was a tough day. The fish weren't biting or the fish left. But your better guys, through education, knowledge, and the desire to be good or better are going to be, it ain't happening here. I'm going to give this 2 or 3 hours. It's time to pull the rods and go somewhere else, It takes that a little bit of effort for guys to pull rods and do that. Or, spend the money on fuel per se, right? They don't want to spend the extra money to take a boat ride. But again, that separates a lot of your great guys from average guys. Hi, guys.
Great guys right there.
Look
Some
at them
great
boots
guys
on
right
Bobby.
there. It separates your
Hi,
average
sweetie.
guys from really
Yeah,
great
girl.
fishermen. So those are my couple points for your fans out there.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Now I'm going to make you think again, Pete. I'm going to make you think quick on your toes, on your feet. What question do you want to ask these guys? Your chance to be the interviewer. What question do you want to ask Casey and Shane?
I guess I'll ask Shane. So, what drives Shane? I call you're one of the thinkers in the industry. Okay, you always got new ideas. Trevor from Fish Hawk is one of the thinkers in the industry, which is it's a compliment, right? So, what makes you continually want to strive to think and be ahead of the game or come up with new products? And then while you're answering, I'm going to think of a question for Superman.
I think
Hold
that
that mic right up here, Shane.
I think it's just I don't know. It's just my personality, I guess. But I just always want to. Some people are. I don't know. I guess a lot of people like to. A lot of people are resistant to change, but I find myself always finding a better way to do things, and sometimes that really hurts me because I'll literally spend like 40 hours trying to figure out a better way to do something that I could have had done 35 hours ago.
Right.
but yeah, I guess it's just something that's in my personality that I'm always trying to make or look for a better way to do something. So, and that's just kind of what excites me, or I really, really like to learn. So, if I don't know about something, I will go to all depths of any way possible to figure it out.
So Casey, what's the driving force behind Casey Prisco, aka Superman, to be on your game and to have the desire to be one of the premier charter operations and successful catching anglers, the guy that wants to catch fish all and be consistent from a fish catching perspective, but also a successful charter operation, which you have. So what's the driving factor inside your brain?
I'm competitive, so I can't just do something half-assed. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it at the best of my abilities. And I guess I always want to push myself to be better. And I think that's probably what I can look right down this group of guys here and right out into the crowd and see more people like that. Like Shane keeps more and more, like he took on another company, now he's doing another innovative thing. And Pete runs, you yourself have 3 or 4 companies, and I did Hammerhead Cowbells and my charter business, and it just I want to be the best. I want to be remembered for being the best or trying to be the best, and I love the opportunity to help somebody make a memory with their family member, their friends, whoever it may be. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize how special that is until they do it. But if you step back from your day-to-day job or whatever you're doing, and like think about something you did with somebody that was important to them and how their reaction was, that's priceless. You know, and as a charter captain, you get to see that a lot. And I mean, it's cool. It's an amazing job. I mean, I was a service director at a dealership, and nothing's fun about people coming in with cars that are broken that they just paid $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 for and wanting to get fixed. Like, they're not excited. Like, can't wait to get my first oil change. Gotta get brakes next week. No one's happy about that. But when they get on the boat, they're like, can't wait to get a big king. I'm like, shit, yeah, sorry, whatever. Shit, yeah, me either. You know, and I feed off that energy from my client and my people that get on the boats. You know, they enter as strangers and leave as friends, and it's the amount of people that came up at this show that shook my hand. That, I'll be honest, I didn't know everybody's name, but I'm gonna shake their hand because they know my name, and that's an awesome feeling, and that pushes me to be where I'm at. You know, started with a 17-footer, and there might be another one on the way here in another couple weeks. So I love it. Huh? Top Hooker. Pete's got a great video. It's probably on YouTube. There used to be a show, Top Hooker, and yep, I have the mindset that any fish I can catch that swims, I'll catch it. So I did a video. It's out there. You want to blast me on Facebook with it, it's fine. Bring it.
We're going to get kicked out of the building here in about 10 minutes, so I gave Pete an opportunity to ask you guys both a question. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let Casey ask Shane a question, and Shane, you'll be able to ask Pete a question, and then we're going to call it a night. So Casey, what's your question for Shane?
What's your most favorable fishing moment you've had in your fishing career? It could be when you were 2 years old to now. What's the one fish that just makes you smile? Makes you, the one moment that's like, wow, that's the one.
Well, it happened. That would be right here in Lake Ontario. I think I was 12 years old. I used to go with my dad. My dad was a charter captain, so I used to go with him every day. But I never got to, at 12, I wasn't, he just didn't have anywhere else to put me, right? So, yeah, so I didn't want to stay home, but whatever. So I was along with a group one day in Lake Ontario when we came here, because fishing was poor in Lake Michigan, and we had some guys that come all the time. But anyway, we had 3 big kings on, and all 3 clients were busy fighting the king, and the 4th one bit, and I got to reel it in, and that was still the biggest fish that I've ever personally reeled in, and that was a 33-pound king. So right out here on the bar.
That's really cool. Shane, now you get to ask Pete a question.
Take it easy on me.
No, give it to him.
I know people. Take it easy.
Oh.
Are we out of time? Are we out of time?
I'm just always amazed at how Pete does everything so well. But my question, my question would be probably I don't know what got you started in fishing, Pete?
All right, that's a good question.
I don't even know this.
All right, so what got me started in fishing? My dad, would take us pier fishing, so I kind of got hooked a little bit there, but not a lot. So then back in the 1979. 1970. My dad bought the first boat. It was like an 18-foot Sea Ray, and he got a dock. It was moored in a marina, and that year we would go by out the marina, and there was a popular little tackle store that was just had
Is this Erie?
in Erie that had a few charter boats going, and that's when the coho salmon fishing really took off in Lake Erie out of Erie, PA. And so the first year we'd putt through the channel out into the bay, and we'd see those charter boat guys come in, and they had coho salmon laying on the dock, or their clients were holding pictures up, kind of when it all started in Erie, PA. And then my dad kind of got the buzz. We're like, oh, look at those fish, you know. So then in 1979, we upgraded from an 18 to a 21-foot boat, an Invader. Figured out how to put a couple downriggers on it, a flasher and those electronics, and started the salmon fishery there. Just him and I would go out. Had to figure it out ourselves for the most part. But we were still watching the guys on the dock bringing nice cooler catches of salmon. At that point, it was like, I want to have these catches, and I want to be a charter boat captain. And I witnessed it, for about 2 years, and said, I want to do that someday. And that's kind of how it started.
No, we never had that conversation, so.
That's why I let you guys ask the questions, because it's always me asking the questions, and you're always going to get my perspective. So I wanted you guys to ask the questions.
So that's when I first caught the buzz, was 78, 79, or actually 79 into 80s. That's when it started for me. I got the buzz.
It really is an addiction, isn't it?
Well, guys, really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody watching. They are going to kick us out of the building here in about 8 minutes, so we're probably going to wrap up so we can get everything picked up. But it was a really fun conversation. I knew this was one of the ones that I was really looking forward to this weekend, getting you guys out here. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for all you guys, and just enjoy hanging out with you. So I thought this would be fun, and that would be really fun getting the three of you on here together and give you guys a chance to ask each other some questions tonight too. So that was fun too. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We're going to come back on. I said earlier at 8 o'clock Eastern, but we're going to go to dinner. So we're going to call it 9 o'clock Eastern tonight. The Fish Hawk crew, myself, Trevor Sumption, and then our other guys, Steve Stelter and Mario Pierce-Kelly. We're going to be on tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to find a room in the hotel that we're staying in and just hang out, talk a little Fish Hawk, tell you a little bit about what we've got going on at Fish Hawk, and kind of give you an idea of what we're proud of as a company. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're calling it Fish Hawk After Hours tonight at 9 o'clock right here on YouTube. We'll see you then. We'll be over at the hotel. It should be a good time. We hope you guys join us there. But guys, thanks so much. You got Casey Prisco, Shane Rubianis, Pete Alex. It was a lot of fun, guys.